Battle Royale because I started in 2018 when Battle Royales were like the hot stuff. Then it was arena shooter, like 5-on-5 different modes, and then I realized I'm not gonna do a network like a multiplayer version. So it's I'm probably going to make it a single player roguelike or something like that. It's okay. I can show some components now of why I chose Storybook for the game. Maybe I can start here. So Storybook is split into three areas where you have the sidebar with like your stories, the main canvas, and the add-ons bar. Usually here you will see like one component. You will see a button, and you will be able to like turn the intents on the button that it's a primary or a warning button, and it has a different size. I chose a different approach. I have 4 cameras, which all of them render one scene. So this is all one scene, just 4 different cameras with 4 different viewports. I can control whichever camera I hover. So these 3 cameras have locked lock access. This is a free camera. I can do whatever I want with this one. These are obviously this is just a top camera, back camera, and side camera. This really helps me to work on things in isolation because before, if I wanted to make a change to this table, I would have to render the whole map, or have a different map where it would be just an empty map, and it would take a lot of time, with the rebuild. With you would have to refresh the page because hot reloading isn't really working with the engine. Here, if I were to make a change, Storybook would take care of the hot reload using the iframe, which is super fast. I also didn't have to build any kind of engine-like UI because Storybook supports these controls that I was able to take advantage of. So if I, for example, wanted to change the resolution of just the game, just the viewports, I can change it to 1600 to 900. I can change the scaling on the go, which is like a hardware scaling. I can change contrasts. I can change everything I want for just in isolation. If obviously I was working on it not in isolation, it would change everything. Here, I can just reset everything with one button, and I'm back to where I was. So I have a bunch of meshes that I built my maps with, like furniture and stuff. I can drop my my character inside any of these. So if I say, I don't know, I want to test the door. So here's left side of the door, here's the right side of the door. Then I have a interactive door. And this one already has a character in it, so I can immediately test if the door is working. I can see that it's working just fine. I have each story can have multiple versions of itself. So this is an unlocked door, but I can also select a locked door, which should not open. So I see that that it's working fine, and I basically tested that my work works fine without having to reload or rebuild or do anything like that. So that's that. I can control the character that spawned. I can change the weapons on the character. For example, right now I have a I think some machine gun. I can quickly change it if I want to test something. For example, a sniper kind of rifle. Uh, I can change abilities on the go. I can change I can also change the door on the go, but I'm not sure if that's working. I haven't really tried that. Oh yeah, it does. So now it's unlocked. If I switch this button, it's locked again. So I can also change that things are changing on the go, because there might be a scenario in the game when I need to lock the door and unlock the door and stuff like that. There's okay, so that's the interactive stuff. Then I obviously can select the models, which is amazing, because working on these characters, especially the animated ones, has been the hardest part. So I can have this is the player model. I can see the enemy model, which is pretty much the same, just different colors. And I can also check the animation. So for example, this is the model of running. I guess there is no sound, because the screen sharing only has a video, no sound. But I can also check reloading. So this is making it so easy for me to work on these things, like adjusting little stuff. Because before I would have to spawn the player, I would have to reload, I would have to go in the game, I would have to change the camera, and then I'd realize something is a little bit off. I have to go through that process again. Here, I'll just change it, reload, and it will automatically reload for me everything. So it's incredibly powerful for me, and I realized that that's where Storybook as a whole is incredibly powerful. You can use it for anything. um I have maps. This is I'm gonna try and resize it, but I'm not sure if you're gonna see the screen. I guess not. Let me check that. Hold on. Yeah. Can you still see the screen, or is it black?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, you can see the game. Yeah, right. So I can view whole maps. And if I need to like debug stuff, I can go back and, for example, I can turn wireframing on to see if how things look. How does sorry how the objects look inside, and if everything's where it should be. I can turn off floors and walls to see, if everything's where it should be and stuff like that. So it's been very 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 helpful. Also, obviously, I can work on the UI. This is just a screenshot, and I have the UI. This is abilities, which is your main ability, and your dash. So I have a dash on cooldown, and then an activated ability, which counts down and then starts the cooldown. I can test my cost bar. So when you're reloading and you cancel the reload by, for example, dashing or shooting or changing weapons, you have player stats, which is health with shield, and low health, and weapons. So this is primary, secondary, no ammo. So this has been very difficult, because you would have to, without this, you would have to go to the game, start the game, shoot out all the ammo, and then see how it looks. So now this saves me so much time, especially with the multiplayer version, because before the server started and you would have to connect and somehow it would disconnect. It was such a pain. So this actually made it fun to work on again. I have some particle testing. So this is like when you hit an object with your weapon. This is the emitter, and then I have some more. I'm not sure which one this is. It's probably none. So these are like the building blocks of the game so far. It's not much. I think I've been working more on like the tooling and the stuff around the game more than the game itself. But I think it's important to have these kind of building blocks if I ever decide to take it further. And the last things I have are these experiments. For example, I have a FPS camera experiment where instead of from top down, you can play in first person mode. Obviously, it's just a quick experiment. You can see the hands, and it's really weird, but it's fun to test things like these. And then I have a mini game where you need to survive rounds of enemies where they get gradually harder and more of them. So it's good for me to test how is it like when someone shoots at you, how is it losing health, how do the enemy weapons are how are they strong, and things like that. So that's pretty much it. And so all of this has been built on Gitpod, obviously. I don't use my Mac as a development machine anymore for a whole year. I don't even have Node. I don't even have Xcode. Nothing installed on my Mac. And obviously, I love Gitpod. I haven't been using anything else since. It's got so much better in the last few months with the SSH updates and everything. It's been just flawless. So yeah, congratulations on that because it's amazing. So yeah, that's my little project. If you want to try, if you want to play, it's online. Oh, by the way, there's one more thing. It's hosted on Chromatic, which is also amazing because Chromatic runs visual screenshot testing. So if I make a change to, for example, I don't know, I make some change to something, and it breaks, for example, this cabinet. I have screenshot testing that catches that error. So I don't have, which is I think the most powerful testing when it comes to this. So which is also cool. So I'm gonna send you the link to if you want to try it, you can try it here. If you want to play the game, it's under experiments, target practice. And there's also Chainsaw Massacre, which is when you spawn and there's like 6 guys with chainsaws running at you. So I don't remember why I did that, but yeah. So you can try it. Tell me what you think.
It is so cool, Philip. That's so awesome. I can't believe you built that all on Gitpod. We actually have one question just around like where you get your motivation and creativity, just because I also tried to, I had an interest on building games like ages ago, but I never stuck by it because it's one of those things that feel like you really need to commit to. So yeah, do you want to talk to us a little bit about that? And also just awesome sound, by the way. This is awesome.
Thank you. So I think I don't really have that much interest. I do have interest in like TypeScript and the web world, so that's why this is a web game. I think if I really committed and downloaded Unity or Unreal Engine, this game would probably be done already because I've been working on it since 2018. But I think my motivation comes from like the front end and the TypeScript world because I've already worked on a different game back in 2014, which I made without any engine. It was just diffs, a bunch of diffs. It was like a Zelda top down Zelda game. Uh, and then in 2018, I was like, yeah, I would work on that again, or I could build a new game. And I immediately went like, but it's gonna be a browser game. I wanna I wanna improve myself when it comes to like TypeScript, JavaScript, and all that. So that's kind of why I did it. And it's also a good side project to have on a CV or things like that. So it's the motivation to like release it, to ship it, has never really been there yet. But I hope that one day.
Nice, awesome. Does anyone have any more questions for Philip whilst he's here on the call? I can see someone typing, so I might give it like another second or so. Oh, here's a question. Can it be reused as a generic library viewer for ECS, which is Entity Component System based games?
So that's a good question, because my first, like when I started this, I was like, I'm going to build an add-on for Babylon.js for Storybook that's gonna help you view your components. But when I started on this, I got so into it that I really made this complicated system where it's kind of like suited just for my game because of how I do things. Right? So unfortunately, this cannot be just plugged and played to any like project that uses Babylon.js. Is the source code public on GitHub? Unfortunately not. But I was thinking of making the game open source anyway. Maybe try and build an open source game in the future. Why not? I think it would be fun.
Yeah, awesome. There was another question. So far, he's doing this CI/CD on Gitpod, and rendering will be in the browser, right? Yes. Is that right?
Right. Yes. So the development happens on Gitpod. As I said, I don't have anything installed on my Mac. I use solely Gitpod, and I try to push everyone and at my work too. My new colleague is also using Gitpod, and it's proven so many times that it's the right way to go, because he's got Windows and things just weren't working on his desktop, and it just makes so much sense to to eliminate that kind of bottleneck, like, but it's working on my machine. So the development happens on Gitpod, but this is hosted on Chromatic, and it's just a JavaScript file. There's no backend. It doesn't connect to any server, so you could download the file and run it locally if you wanted to.
Awesome. Any more questions? Cool. If not, I don't think we have any more questions. So I just want to say, Philip, thank you so much for this session. It was really fun. I think one of the big reasons I decided to invite you here was because this is a completely different project I usually see built on Gitpod. So it's all really awesome,
Yeah.
the variety that people can build on Gitpod. So thank you so much. If you have any more questions, just feel free to ask them in the general channel within the thread of this office hours session. This video will also be on YouTube if you want to catch up and go through the different components that Philip showed today. Other than that, in 2 weeks' time, we have another office hours session with the dev advocates from 1Password, and they've built a integration with Gitpod, and I'm really excited to get them on board next week, in 2 weeks. So feel free to join us there as well. But yeah, I think that might be it for today. Thank you everyone for joining, and enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you all within the server.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for inviting
Thanks
me.
everyone. Thanks everyone. Thanks, Philip.
Take care.